Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Turn it up. If I say turn it up, you turn it up. You're not using the microphone, are you? Yeah. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivaradhari. Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Guru Bhakti Saraswati Mai. His Divine Grace Sri Lesi Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Guru Bhakti Saraswati Mai. His Divine Grace Sri Lesi Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Guru Paramparara ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Srimad Shri Vrindavan Dharma ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Bol. So look, there's too much bass on it. There's too much bass. The bass is booming. Can you hear the bass booming? Before there was too much treble. You always have to set it neutral and then adjust the bass and then adjust the treble. The bass. Can you hear the bass booming? This is because in the corner, the mic, the sound is bouncing onto the mic, you see. Do you understand? The sound comes here, bounces off the wall into the mic. So you never sing in a corner like this if you want good. Anyway, Hare Krishna. You see that? That's the bass. Do you know what bass is? B-A-S-S? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You see, look, there you now. You have to turn this way. Hare Krishna. Anyway, we'll just do it. You can't turn down the bass? Huh? Oh, there's only one point. There's only treble. There's only one tone control. I see. Well, you get what you pay for. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada, to text number 15, correct? Of Knowledge of the Absolute, which is the 7th chapter. So, yes, this famous verse. So please repeat. Namam duskritina modha prapadyante naradama maya aprita jnana asuram bhavam astritaha namam duskritina modha prapadyante naradama maya aprita jnana asuram bhavam astrita duskritina mudha
asuram bhavamasita Namam duskritena mudha.
Namam duskritena mudha.
Prapadyante naradhava.
Prapadyante naradhava.
Maya pavrata jana.
Maya pavrata jana.
Asuram bhavam asitaha.
Asuram bhavam asitaha.
Go on, be brave. You've got the vote. Okay then. So, word for word, please repeat. Na, not, mam, unto me, duskritinaha, miscreants, mudaha, foolish, prapadyante, surrendra, nara aradama, lowest among mankind, mayaya, by the illusory energy, apahrita, stolen, janaha, whose knowledge, asuram, demonic, bhavam, nature, asritaha, accepting. So, translation Srila Prabhupada, those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Please repeat. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Right. So, this is quite a long purport. Huh? It's a 6-page purport. So, purport. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita that simply by surrendering oneself unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, one can surmount the stringent laws of material nature. At this point, a question arises: how it is that educated philosophers, scientists, businessmen, administrators, and all leaders of ordinary men do not surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, the all-powerful personality of Godhead. Mukti, or liberation from the laws of material nature, is sought by the leaders of mankind in different ways, and with great plans and preservation for a great many years and births. But if that liberation is possible by simply surrendering unto the lotus feet of Krishna, then why don't these intelligent and hard-working leaders adopt this simple method? The Gita answers this question very frankly. Those really learned leaders of society like Brahma, Shiva, Kapila, Kumara, Manu, Vyas, Devala, Asita, Janaka, Prahlad, Vali, and later on Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Sri Chaitanya, and many others, who are faithful philosophers, politicians, educators, scientists, etc., surrender unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, the all-powerful authority. Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educated administrators, etc., but who pose themselves as such for material gain, do not accept the path or path of the Supreme Lord. They have no idea of God. They simply manufacture their own worldly plans and consequently complicate the problems of material existence in their vain attempts to solve them. Because material energy, nature, is so powerful, it can resist the unauthorized plans of the atheists and baffle the knowledge of planning commissions. The atheistic plan makers are described herein by the word duskritina, or miscreants. Kriti means one who has performed meritorious work. The atheist plan maker is sometimes very intelligent and meritorious also, because any gigantic plan, good or bad, must take intelligence to execute. But because the atheist brain is improperly utilized in opposing the plan of the Supreme Lord, the atheistic plan maker is called duskriti, which indicates that his intelligence and efforts are misdirected. In the Gita, it is clearly mentioned that material energy works fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. It has no independent authority. It works as the shadow moves in accordance with the movements of the object. But still, material energy is very powerful, and the atheist, due to his godless temperament, cannot know how it works, nor can he know the plan of the Supreme Lord. Under illusion and the modes of passion and ignorance, all his plans are baffled, as in the case of Hiranyakashipu and Ravana, whose plans were smashed to dust. Although they were both materially learned as scientists, philosophers, administrators, and educators. These duskritinas, or miscreants, are of the 4 different patterns, as outlined below. The mudas are those who are grossly foolish, like hard-working beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor by themselves, and so do not want to part with them for the Supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. This humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach with a bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being beaten by his master, satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sound only disturbs others. This is the position of the foolish, fruitive worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma, action, is meant for yajna, sacrifice. Most often, those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties say that they have no time to hear the immortality of the living being. To such mudas, material gains are destructible, all lives, all in all. Despite the fact that the mudas enjoy only a small fraction of the fruit of their labor. Sometimes they spend sleepless nights and nights for fruitive gain, and although they may have ulcers or indigestion, they are satisfied with practically no food. They are simply absorbed in working hard day and night for the benefit of illusory masters. Ignorant of their real master, the foolish workers waste their valuable time serving mammon. Unfortunately, they never surrender to the Supreme Master of all masters, nor do they take time to hear of him from the proper sources. The swine who eat the night soil do not care to accept sweetmeats made of sugar and ghee. Similarly, the fruitive worker will untiringly continue to hear of the sense-enjoyable tidings of the flickering and mundane world, but will have little time to hear about the eternal living force that moves the material world. Another class of duskritina or miscreant is called the Naradama, the lowest of mankind. Nara means human being and Adama means the lowest. Out of the 8,400,000 different species of living beings, there are 400,000 human species. Out of these, there are numerous low forms of life that are mostly uncivilized. The civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are socially and politically developed, but who have no religious principles, must be considered Naradamas. Nor is religion without God religion, because the purpose of following religious principles is to know the supreme truth and man's relation with him. In the Gita, the personality of Godhead clearly states there is no authority above him and that he is the supreme truth. The civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousness of his eternal relation with the supreme truth, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is all-powerful. Whoever loses this chance is classified as Naradama. We get information from revealed scriptures that when the baby is in the mother's womb, an extremely uncomfortable situation, he prays to God for deliverance and promises to worship him alone as soon as he gets out. To pray to God when he is in difficulty is a natural instinct in every living being because he is eternally related with God. But after his deliverance, the child forgets the difficulties of birth and forgets his deliverer also, being influenced by Maya, the illusory energy. It is the duty of the guardians of children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies, as enjoined in the Manu Samhita, which is the guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varna Ashram. However, no process is strictly followed now in any part of the world, and therefore 99.9% of the population is Naradama. When the whole population becomes Naradama, naturally all their so-called education is made null and void by the all-powerful energy of physical nature. According to the standard of the Gita, a learned man is he who sees on equal terms the learned Brahmana, the dog, the cow, the elephant, the dog-eater. That is the vision of the true devotee. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is an incarnation of Godhead as Divine Master, delivered the typical Naradamas, the brothers, Jagai and Madai, and showed how the mercy of a real devotee is bestowed upon the lowest of mankind. So the Naradama, who is condemned by the personality of Godhead, can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in propagating the Bhagavad Dham, or activities of the devotees, has recommended that people submissively hear the message of Godhead from the personality of Godhead. The essence of this message is Bhagavad Gita. The lowest among human beings can be delivered by this submissive hearing process only. But unfortunately, they even refuse an oral reception to these messages. And what to speak of surrendering to the will of the Supreme Lord? Naradamas, or the lowest of mankind, willfully neglect the prime duty of the human being. The next class of Duskriti is called the Maya Aprita Jnana, or those persons whose erudite knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusory energy. They are mostly very learned fellows, great philosophers, poets, literati, scientists, etc. But the illusory energy misguides them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. There are a great number of Maya Aprita Jnanas at the present moment, even amongst the scholars of the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is stated that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is none equal or greater than him. He is mentioned as the father of Brahma, the original father of all human beings. In fact, Sri Krishna is said to be not only the father of Brahma, but the father of all species. He is the root of the impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. The Supersoul in every living entity is his plenary portion. He is the fountainhead of everything, and everyone is advised to surrender unto his lotus feet. Despite all these clear statements, the Maya Aprita Jnana deride the personality of the Supreme Lord and consider him merely another human being. They do not know that the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and transcendental feature of the Supreme Lord. All unauthorized interpretations of the Gita by the class of Maya Aprita Jnana outside the purview of the Parampara system are so many stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual understanding. The deluded interpreters do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, nor do they teach others to follow this principle. The last class of Duskriti is called Asuram Bhavam Asritaha, those of demonic principles. This class is openly atheistic. Some of them argue that the Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reasons as to why not. There are others who make him subordinate to the impersonal feature, and although the opposite is declared in the Gita, envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the atheist will present a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. such persons whose very principle of life is to decry the personality of Godhead cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of Krishna. Sri Jamuna Acharya Alabhandhara of South India said, "O my Lord, you are unknowable to persons involved with atheistic principles, despite your uncommon qualities, features, and activities, despite your personalities being confirmed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of goodness, and despite your being acknowledged by the famous authorities renowned for their depth of knowledge in the transcendental science and situated in godly qualities. Therefore, only grossly foolish persons, the lowest of mankind, the deluded speculators and the professed atheists, as above mentioned, never surrender unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in spite of all scriptural and authoritative device." So please forgive me for speaking so quickly. But this is a wonderful little essay, isn't it, by Prabhupada? You can see how Prabhupada is empowered to make everything very clear, with good examples. Prabhupada, it's all very deep and complicated, but it just flows into you. That is the empowered Acharya. So, Makam karochi vachalam pangam laite girim yar kripa tamaham vande Sri Gurun dinatarinam namam duskritina mudha prapadyante naradama maya apritagyana asuram bhavam asritaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. So, of course, this is Krishna talking to Arjuna, and it follows the previous verse. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Devi Shamaya. So, this middle 6 chapters here, the first chapter, number 7, knowledge of the Absolute. So Krishna previously here has explained that I am the taste of water, I am the syllable Om, I am the taste, everything, passion and ignorance, everything is manifest by my energy. So knowledge of the Absolute. So the middle 6th chapter, Krishna reveals himself to Arjuna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he starts on this point, that I am the material energy. Many times, tribal religions, man-made religion, Manudam, it's called in Sanskrit, they consider that there is a God, and this material energy is somehow evil or the devil or not connected. God is transcendental in heaven or some idea they have, but the material world is a place of no God. But Krishna here, he starts by explaining, no, this material world is my energy. The sun, the sunlight. The sunlight is the energy. The material energy is coming from Krishna. Krishna is Purusha and Prakriti, right? This is how we understand the Absolute Truth. Absolute Truth is one, but there is Purusha aspect and Prakriti. That Purusha means person, Supreme Person. Prakriti means his energy, sun and sunlight. We see this. Even within ourselves we see that. I am Purusha in the sense I am the personality, and then I have energy. I have the energy of my consciousness that I can engage in. But I am not the Supreme Purusha. I am not Param Purusha. I am limited. I am within this dictate. So the material energy, it can seem like the devil, right? Because in the material energy, birth, death, old age, and disease. Sometimes in the man-made religions, they think that some Messiah or some messenger will come, and then there will be heaven on earth. There'll be no war. There'll be no conflict. Now we know from Vedic paradigm, there is 4 activities: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Right? Material activity, broadly speaking. We eat, we sleep, we have union, mating, produce children, and we defend the arrangement. But the defending is the problem, because in the material world everyone is trying to enjoy. When people turn their back on the Supreme Lord, as it says in the Vishnu Puran, 2 things become prominent. They become forgetful, godless, and then they want to enjoy. They want to control and enjoy the material energy, but they become entangled in this way, karma bandhana. They perform sinful activities, they become bound by the reaction. Just like in the material world, right? If you rob a bank, the police will come after you and throw you in the jail, perhaps, if you don't give them enough. Anyway, but the point is, the reaction is there. But the maya aprita gyan, his knowledge is stolen by illusion. He thinks, it's so many illusory ways. I will avoid the reaction. I will avoid the police. I'll steal at night. I'll plot and scheme, and I will be undiscovered. But everything is noted down. In the modern world is Matrix, right? You know the Matrix movie, very famous. We are in a huge matrix of karma. Just like if I tap this, that affects the balance of the earth. Not very much. But I'm putting pressure on that. That's putting pressure on the floor. It's transmitted down to the earth. Everything is affected. So if we are doing physical things and getting some effect on the locality, then why should we think that our activities are free of karma? So that is the basic maya aprita gyan. He has a false premise. He's in illusion. He's gaslighting, also a modern term. He's projecting to himself a reality. I will be okay. I will make adjustment. You have 50 police chasing you because you robbed the bank. No, I will somehow escape the reaction. So that is the illusion of the material world. So therefore Krishna, at the beginning of the Gita, explains there is karma, there is karmic reaction, Arjuna, and if you misbehave and if you don't do your duty, it will not go well for you. But as Prabhupada said in the purport there, karma, our work in this world, is made for yajna. What does that mean? That means that instead of the ass working, who is the first one described, the Muda, instead of the ass working for his donkey master, like, carrying a big burden of washed clothes or something, he should think, yes, I'm in this situation. A human being should think, he should have the intelligence to think, that I am performing these activities, somehow or other I have this wife, this children, this job, but now I have to perform these activities. But let me perform them as an offering to the ultimate master. Do you see the point? I'm working for IBM and I'm thinking I better do a good job or else they'll throw me in the street. So I'm performing for the master of IBM. But really, I can work for IBM and make computer program, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is very popular now, but let's consider, anything artificial is not real. So we should call artificial intelligence as not real intelligence and not rely on it. Krishna is the really intelligent one. So we should offer everything to the Supreme Lord. We should, even though we may be in this situation. That is also in Dharma manyat parijaja mamekam bhajva vishvasam yadrisi shraddha siddhir tadrisi kurva nirantaram karma lokoyam karma bandhana. Tadatham karma kunteya mam prapadyan vishvate. So, this is what Krishna tells Lord Brahma just before he starts to create the universe. He says, abandoning all meritorious performances, serve me with faith. That means don't construct the universe thinking, I'm getting good karma and I'll enjoy in the future. Make your mentality of creating this universe as a service. Serve me with faith. Huh? You, Brahma, you have realized me, you've spoken the Brahma Samhita. Now have the attitude of service. Everyone has to perform activities. So now do it as an offering unto me with bhakti. Right? So this lifts the activity from karma to yajna. What does Krishna say in the Gita? Manmana bhava mad bhakto mad jaji. Perform yajna. So, the realization, then Krishna says to Brahma, the realization that you will get from serving me with faith will correspond to the nature of one's faith. What does that mean? It means according to the depth of your faith or according to your realization of the Supreme Lord in his many potencies, you will get realization in that way. What is that based on in the Gita? Yeyatam mam prapadyante. All of them, as they surrender unto me, as yogis or jnanis or karmis or bhakti yoga, I reciprocate accordingly. So according to your consciousness, as you serve Krishna through the directions of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, you will get a very particular realization from Krishna. But you will get more than your work. You offer one kritpatram pushpam phalam toyam, you offer one apple or tulsi leaf to Krishna, your shalagram, your giriraj, Krishna will take you as his own. Now, if you surrender to IBM, you'll get your salary. That's it. But you can work in IBM, get your salary, and offer all your efforts to the Supreme Lord. And he will see, oh, he's serving me. This morning he offered me a little tumbler of water with a tulsi leaf in it. That captures my heart. These are statements in the Shastra. Every Vaishnava should have a tulsi in his house and serve tulsi. You will naturally become affectionate to your plant, and then Krishna will take you as his own, and the result will be unlimited. You may approach Krishna in Aishwarya Bhav, you are the Supreme Lord, but gradually your realization will develop to more intimate. It's in the Shastra, that initially we may have Shraddha. We have faith in Krishna. I associated with the sadhus. They told me to chant and read the Gita. Now I'm developing faith. So that's Shraddha. As faith develops, it develops in Sanskrit, it's called Vishramba. It means intimate association, intimate faith. That with this intimacy, this realization of Krishna, then one becomes intimate with Krishna. And that starts bhava bhakti, which progresses to prema. So one should know the process and one should cultivate. Right? Bhakti yoga means essentially to cultivate love. Right? We're not cultivating knowledge. We're not cultivating good karma. We don't want mystic yoga power, control the universe, and so on. No, we want to cultivate love. That is bhakti. And that is the natural condition. Nitya siddha Krishna prem sadhakabana shravanari surachitte karidare. So this is very important. So when we do sadhana bhakti means vaidhi bhakti raganuga, we should always remember this. I was talking to my friend there. I was reading a quote from Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and he says, it's very interesting, what about those that follow sadhana? and yet are not developing. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur answers this question. He says, if you follow sadhana bhakti without a touch of bhava, that means like this word, a sort of bhava or nature or some affectionate mood towards Krishna, then your bhakti sadhana is like the burden of a beast. This is what he said. I read it myself. I was shocked. It was so plain. Sometimes I'm not pointing the finger, but people, they work hard for Krishna, but that's it. They're not cultivating the bhava. This is the important thing. Lord Brahma, of course, he's realizing Krishna, he's going to create the universe, and Krishna is saying, create it out of love for me, service mood. You see? So, yes, we have to get up, chant our rounds, read the Bhagavatam, serve in the temple, so on and so forth, do this, do that. But it should be done as an offering. This is the point. And it should be done with a little bhava. Oh Krishna, you are the Supreme Lord. I am Mama Angsa Jiva Loke. I'm your part and parcel. You please, you please give me a little mercy. And then Krishna will reciprocate, because Krishna reciprocates with his devotee. He doesn't overpower his devotee, tell him what to do. He reciprocates, gives him ideas, gives him realization. He develops, just like we cultivate the tulsi. So Krishna, Guru, Sadhu, all the great acharya, they are cultivating the sadhakas. But the cultivation is centered on the flower of prema. Just like the essence of the manjari, of the tulsi, is the manjari. You offer the manjari to Krishna. So the essence of our service is to develop bhava into prema. So that is Raganuga sadhana. If we just do vidimarg, rules and regulations, or regulative principles, I've got to do what the temple president says, that's very good, you'll get some sukriti. But get into the mood, into the bhava. Just like a great musician. He sings, but he moves the audience. Why? Because he's putting his feeling into the music. So that subtle aspect goes into the auditorium and the people think, oh, I feel moved. So that's material. So Krishna consciousness must be performed with bhava so that we get that bhava reciprocation from Krishna. Very important. But I digress. We should stick to this. So, realization will correspond to the nature of your faith. It will develop. Krishna will take you as his own. The people of this world act ceaselessly in the pursuance of some ideal. Right? In the material world, everyone's working very, very hard to get their plan, go to college, get a job, get married, have children, build a house, retire, right? They're working ceaselessly. They wake up and they start working. But Krishna explains, by meditating on me by means of those deeds, one will obtain devotion characterized by love in the shape of the supreme service. So he's summing it up there, Krishna. He's saying, yes, you have to do these things. You're in the material world, you've got to eat, sleep, mate, so on and so forth. But do it as an offering to me. And do it within rules and regulations of Vaidhi. Try to live a pure life. And at the same pramana, study the Shastra, deepen your knowledge, and this pramana will take you to realization of Krishna. Krishna will give you understanding. So this is an important point. But the Muda doesn't understand this. Now, but another point I want to say before we get into this is that knowledge of the Absolute. So what Krishna has done is, he has connected the material energy to himself. But then he's warned, it's difficult because you can't overcome it. Because even though you're offering everything to me, but it's difficult to overcome it because it's material and it's divine, it's very powerful. So you must surrender to me. You must surrender to me. That means madgaten anta atmana. You must look for the direction of Krishna through your sadhana. You must try. And you will find that Krishna reciprocates in the heart through sadhus, a word, through a book that you read. You will give you realization. Right? But the mudha doesn't understand that. But what this is, the opulence of the Absolute. You see, this material world is full of all opulences, but they are material. The material energy is jada. The opulences of the material world are nothing compared to the spiritual world. We think, oh, beautiful sunset, beautiful girl, beautiful mountainside, beautiful this. But it is nothing to the beauty that is self-evident in the spiritual world. So when we perform our sadhana and we're trying to cultivate some bhava, the inspiration for that bhava is by the realization of the beauty of the spiritual world. When we realize the beauty of the smile of Krishna, the smile of Radharani, if all the beauty in the whole creation was compressed into one smile from Radharani, it would not be equal. Radharani's smile is more beautiful than all the beauty in the world. Krishna's flute playing is more attractive than all the beautiful music in the universe. It is stated in the Shastra that when Krishna plays his flute, Lord Brahma listens and he can't. What raga is that? What is that? What Krishna's going? He can't. Even Lord Brahma, who is the intelligence of the universe, can't understand the skill of Krishna. And in the material world, what is the skill? What is the skill of Krishna? His flute song is represented in Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes. The Maha Mantra is the representation of Krishna's flute song. So anyway, we digress. The point is I wanted to make is that there's also another sloka there. Goloka damni nididamni tale tatasya devi maheshu haridameshu teshu te prabhava nitya vihitasyena govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Now, Krishna is starting here with the opulence or the material energy, connecting it to himself, like I say, so that we don't think that God is separate. Achintya Vedavet. This is his energy, this is his energy. I am his energy. This phone is his energy. The madanga, everything is his energy. So we can become Krishna conscious with that idea. I am the taste of water, I am the sun and the moon. Instead of thinking, as we are taught by the Maya Aprita Gyans, oh, this is just material energy. It's come from a big bang, right? That's all they've got. Nothing, bang, everything. That's that. If you go to a science university, that's all they'll teach you. Nothing, bang, everything. And if you interpret the everything in any way other than that, if you look at the everything, the creation, and say, I think that there's a designer. The DNA molecule, I see everything design and control. Then get out of university. You can't have a PhD. You believe in God. The atheists now in Kali Yuga, they've captured the universities. They are the Maya Aprita Gyan. Maya Aprita Gyan means that they have a false premise. In philosophy, people are talking on the basis of a premise. That means an underlying assumption. So now in the modern world, the modern scientists, in all their false universities, they have an underlying assumption that matter is everything. If you take apart matter, atoms, molecules, collide them in some way, you will understand everything. No. They don't recognize that there is a transcendental Lord. So they have the wrong premise. Everything will come from matter. So they are always... And then when they take apart matter, what do? Right now they discover DNA. It's like giving knowledge to a madman. Because they are mad, they've got the wrong idea. So what do now? Now they're combining DNA with pigs, animals and pigs. You know this? Of course, they're not advertising it on the news. They're trying to alter, alter DNA and make a super warrior. Huh? So what you have Maya Prita Gyan, foolish, illusory people that are ready to, as Prabhupada says, they're making disturbance everywhere. So anyway, Lord Brahma has something very interesting to say. Lowest of all is located Devi Dham, mundane world. Sorry, this is, yes. Next is above is Mahesh Dham. Above is where Lord Shiva and Parvati is their basic abode. Above Mahesh Dham is placed Hari Dham, the abode of Hari, and above them all is located Krishna's own realm called Goloka. So we're in Devi Dham now, at least in terms of location. Above that is Mahesh Dham. It explains in the purport, one portion of Shiva Dham or Mahesh Dham is Mahakala Dham. It's enveloped in darkness. Interpreting this portion of Shiva Dham, there shines Sada Shiva Loka, full of great light. So above that is Haridham. So that is the place where people worship Krishna in Aishwarya Bhav. They are, Krishna is the great God, he is Narayan, the great shelter. And they are in Aishwarya Bhav. Above that is Goloka, where everyone worships in Madhurya Bhav. They're forgetful that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He's their lover. He's their master. He's their friend. He's their parentally obliged person. So this is Goloka. So we must have the vision of Goloka, even though we are in Devi Dham. This is an important point. So, but the mudhas, these four people, because Krishna explains the material energy is difficult to overcome, but you want to overcome it, because you're never going to overcome it. There's no Messiah going to come and turn the material world into a place where there's no birth, death, old age and disease. It's always going to remain. And especially in Kali Yuga, we see there's birth, death, old age, disease everywhere. So, Arjuna, get out of it by this seva bhav. But the four that don't surrender are the mudha. We'll just go over it quickly. The mudha is the ass. He just thinks, I'll work hard and I'll make success in that way. Right? And by bad association, bad luck, whatever, he thinks that. So he works very hard, works a factory. You have to admire his heroism. He's struggling. The soul is a hero because Krishna is a hero. He's struggling very hard. You see, when you go to Delhi, people hanging off the bus, going to work. They're struggling so hard to keep the wife and kids fed. But the methodology is completely wrong. Methodology is completely wrong. The mentality is, by work, I will succeed. So they come fixed in that. Next is the miscreant, is the, Naradama. And Prabhupada emphasized that that's the person that has no religious tendency. So they tend to be very hedonistic also. For example, we see sometimes people, they gain money, they became fame and fortune, and then they take all drugs, have sex here and there, they become degraded, they go to the rehab, they get brain transplant or anything, because they have completely naradama. They have no religious principle, no faith in God, so they're unrestrained in their sinful activity. That's a particular quality of the Naradama. Then, as we said, the Maya Aprita Gyan, his knowledge, and Prabhupada says, they're all in big universities writing about this and that, but if you write about, hey, matak parataram nanyad kinchi dasti jananjaya, everything is resting on the mystical potency of the Supreme Lord, get out. No PhD, no tenure. So they are maya pritigan. They have this aversion. And then asuram bhavam astita. That means asura. Asura in Sanskrit means not very pleasure. Asura. The devotee is sura. He has pleasure. Sura. He has pleasure. Atmaram. So asura bhava, his nature is asrita. He's taken shelter of that. And therefore, we gave this example a couple of classes ago. He doesn't want to recognize. In his mentality, he's very rebellious against the idea of God. This is underlying the Maya Aprita Gyan. He doesn't want to recognize. He takes apart a DNA molecule and he finds this incredibly complex and full of information. But there's no God. It happened by chance. Huh? Because he won't admit. Like we say, if we go to an art gallery and two people stand there and one says, oh, what a beautiful painting. I wonder who the painter is. Is that natural? Right? That's natural. You go in the art gallery, oh, I like this one. Who painted it? Asuram bhavam asrita. He says, there's no painter. You like the painting? It happened by chance. So this whole material creation, there's no designer. It's full of design and everything is slotted together. There's no design. Oh, let's go and look at another painting. Oh, look at this one. I wonder which devotee painted that. Nobody painted it. It happened by chance. Right? That's what they say, isn't it? That's the atheist. So then they go in the motor car, the two friends, they go to the car park, they sit in the car. And the fellow says, this is a nice car. And his friend says, oh yeah, it's a Honda. No. There's no manufacturer. This car happened by chance. Then they go to the restaurant and they have a meal, and one says, oh, the cook must be very good. The other one says, there's no cook. It happened by chance. So this is Asuram Bhavam. It's obviously at least something you should consider, that maybe, as the Vedas say, and all religious systems, even Manudam, they say that there is some kind of spirit or powerful God. Everyone senses this in their heart. They don't want to consider it. Do you understand? Because they think that person is more powerful than me, this creator, and I will have to do what he says. So they don't want to. That means they don't want to surrender. Even though, as we explained just earlier, the surrendering process will take you into unlimited love of Godhead, and you live eternally in the spiritual world. This is the message of the Vedas. So they're cutting themselves at the knee. Of course, they do lie down and pay obeisances eventually when they die. Bonk. So you either have to pay obeisances to Krishna willingly, thinking, yeah, there is a Supreme Lord and I must harmonize, I must learn. Or you will pay obeisances to Krishna. What is that? Mrityu Sava Haraschaham. You will pay obeisances at the time of death. So these are the four. Next we'll discuss, not today of course, the four types. Now they may be mixed up. We should understand that. Krishna puts them in different categories. But you may have a bit of a Muda, mentality mixed with a bit of a Narada Muda, and then you may have a bit of a Maya, Aprita Gyan, because you went to this school that they taught you there was only matter. And then, you know, Asuram Baba, I don't like the idea of God. If there was God, he would have made me more beautiful. I don't like God because I don't like my face. So this is the Maya. This is the Maya Shakti. This is the Maya Shakti. So Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they have made a very good system to wake people up out of this confusion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Right, so we should do kirtan, we should distribute knowledge, and then people, oh, they wake up. Yes.
Question time.
Well, why not? If Sachi doesn't get angry. Yeah, go on.
You're saying...
5 minutes, Sachi, go on.
You're saying we should develop love for Krishna.
Yes.
That's what we're supposed to be doing. But like in my case, what if you have no love for Krishna, but you have love for Srila Prabhupada?
Well, Krishna is representative. The Uddhamadikari particularly is representative of Krishna. So you love a great acharya, you're loving Krishna. But you should, like I say, from the Rasa Shastra, from the Srimad Bhagavatam, you should try to develop a vision of the spiritual world and see Prabhupada in relationship to that. You understand? You should develop from that one point. Understand? But that is excellent because, as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport there, it is by the grace of the devotee we become inspired, you see. So that's very good. But we should see the acharyas, and we should see everything, actually. That is bhakti, in relationship to the Supreme Lord. This is the whole point of yoga. The sun, the moon, taste of water, everything in a devotee's mind reminds him of Krishna. You see the point? So, yes, we love Srila Prabhupada. Look what he's done. He's created this ISKCON society, hundreds of books, 200 temples. It's a miracle in nine. And yet he's perfect sadhu at the same time. And so, where is that potency coming from? It is explained in the Shastra that Lord Chaitanya enjoys pastimes in the heart of his devotee. Prabhupada didn't go alone to New York. He went with Lord Chaitanya in the heart. The devotee and the Supreme Lord, they eternally reciprocate within the heart. Madgatain anta atmana. Krishna is revealed within the heart of a devotee. And once the devotee realizes that, he becomes fixed in Krishna consciousness. So yes, it is good. You love Prabhupada, you love Ramunacharya. If you read Bhakti Vinod's books, you will think, wow, Bhakti Vinod, he's fantastic. How did he write this Jaiva Dharma? You know? So we see everything, and all the devotees are empowered by the Supreme Lord, everybody. And as in the Uddhava Gita, Krishna says, I say it many times, Krishna says, the best way to realize me is in the heart of all living beings. I am in the heart, yes. This is the next point. You see, the material energy, it's all Krishna. But everyone is a spirit soul within a material body. But he's not there alone. He's with Krishna in the heart. So the devotee sees everyone is spirit soul. And they all have Krishna in the heart. They're all part and parcel of the Supreme Divine Lord. And Krishna says, that is the best way to realize me. Here and now, in the heart of every one living entity. That is Uddhava Gita, chapter 29, 11th canto. Right? So therefore the devotee, Prabhupada mentioned Pandita Samadarshana. He sees the soul. He sees the soul in the dog. So he gives him some biscuit. Huh? Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So see Srila Prabhupada in relationship to Gaurnitai, Radha Krishna. You understand? Then you become Mahatma. Thank you all very much. See you all next week. Bring your friends. Have a campaign.